Welcome back, everybody. Tim here, TRD Adventures, coming at you to the top, episode 4. Today we're going to talk about weight bias, balancing, weight in the front, side-to-side balance. I'm going to change up the camera here in a little bit and give you a good view on everything. Talk about some percentages to aim for, how to manipulate and change and get this balance to where you need to go. So, real quick, let's change up. All right, so we have the Sky RC 4-corner scale. You've heard me mention it a few times. We finally were able to get one, and really this is going to help on some future videos as well, which was the main reason for investing in it, but also this is a very important part in tuning. So we have here, what all does this show? Right here in the middle, we have your overall weight. Now this is in grams. It has grams, and I can't remember the other conversion, but you would have to do the conversion if you're looking to keep everything in pounds, but not necessarily that world weight. We're really looking at this one, these four right here, these percentages. So we have your total weight here, and then, it splits it down, shows where everything's at. But percentage-wise, we have our side-to-side percentage and front-to-rear percentage. So what do these percentages do, and how does weight bias affect your rig's ability? It is super, super important. That side-to-side balance is going to play huge in your side hill ability. Whether you have one side that is superiorly heavy to the other side, so you would have a tendency to roll on that side, roll from that side, whether it picks up and topples end over end or just slides down. The front to rear balance helps greatly with your incline ability and your descent ability. So what are some percentages to aim at? Side to side, 50-50. Keeping that rig balance side to side is going to be huge. That way you don't have a more dominant side that you have to pay attention more. Both sides are good, so it doesn't matter what angle you hit or what side you're approaching a side hill from, you're balanced from that. Next, the front to rear. What are we looking at here? We see I am at 50-50 side to side, which is actually really impressive. First time on the scale here. And then front to rear, we're set at 56-44. So good spot to go for overall performance is 60-40. 60 in the front, 40 in the rear. We see I do have a little bit of work to do on here, but also note I do not have the body on here. When you are doing this, you will want the body. I have it off right now for demonstrative purposes. So 60-40 is where you're aiming in the front. Now this is going to help. We're tuning, for overall performance. I know not everybody builds these, and everyone builds these for comps. Some we just build them for just that absolute pure performance ability in our local area. And again, just like overall weight of your truck, local area comes into play. If you are just building for absolute pure performance, tune it for your area. If you have a lot more just strict vertical climbs in your area, you may want a more forward bias weight. You may want to go 65-35 or even 70-30 if that deems your vehicle performance for that. When you're doing just strictly inclines, yes, you will want some more forward weight bias, but also you drive your truck and see how it does, and you're like, maybe you just want a little more forward weight in general. Then go for that. Set yourself a goal, and again, tuning, seeing what you're at, driving it, seeing how it does, and changing some things. So one thing to keep in mind with any of this is still maintaining the lower CG, keeping weight down low as you can, not mounting parts and everything up high, keeping everything as low as we can. So how can you achieve the balances? What can you do to get where you want to go? So easiest way is adding and removing weight, whether it be adding, depending on your axles, if you're running portals, weighted portal covers, diff covers, alloy housings versus plastic housings, knuckles, C-hubs, stuff like that. So those have a lot of weighted parts: beef patties, beef tubes, brass beadlock rings. I'm not going to get into rotating mass and stuff like that, but I'm just in general talking about adding weight. Those are all ways to add weight or remove weight. If you already have, let's say you were heavier in the rear and you have brass portal covers and beef patties in the rear, maybe you want to consider removing those and just leaving them in the front to keep that forward bias. Next, also in regards to just adding and removing weight from pieces, replacing replacing parts with lighter options than what you have. If you have a big, heavy steel rear bumper and it's throwing your rear bias off, maybe consider changing to a smaller, low-profile bumper or an aluminum-style bumper, which is lighter. Same with like sliders. In general, just for like your side-to-side, just changing. If you're running steel sliders, maybe go to an aluminum or hand make out of a thin sheet of aluminum, or 3D printed plastic sliders, stuff like that. Changing out parts to lighter or heavier parts if needed. Say bumpers, things like that. Bodies, beds, 3D printed versus Lexan. You're 3D printing your scale accessories if you run them. They don't need to be huge and bulky. Oh, that just totally went wrong. So changing out those parts to lighter or heavier options a lot of times will help out a lot as well. Next, relocating parts. So simply moving parts around. Say if my battery right here, so let's say it's settling at 51. So let's say this is the side I mount my battery on, but I'm already at 51. So maybe I need to mount my battery over here. Stuff like that. Or if my servo winch, if I had a servo winch and it's over here and I'm setting just over 51 or 52%, maybe I need to mount my servo winch over here. Parts like that. Relocating stuff. Forward motor mounts, transfer cases. Like this here is a forward motor mount design without a transfer case. Moving the motor from, say, a normal 3 gear, putting the motor here, now putting the motor to this side and pushing it forward and still keeping it low, or like a transfer case forward motor mount style where the T case is sitting right here. We have our extra drive shaft and our motor mounts are setting somewhere right around here and keeping that motor still, moving that motor forward and getting it low, getting that best possible forward weight bias. Another simple thing, battery size and battery placement can be very huge in this, because you do want to make sure your battery's going to play key in this, and you do want to take your battery into consideration when measuring this as well, whatever battery you run. Now if I'm comping, I will run this one in particular. I run a 3S 850 milliamp battery. If I'm just out doing some tuning and trailing, I will probably switch it up just a little bit more for some runtime, like a 1300 or 1500 milliamp battery. So, so right here was my more higher percentage side. So my battery does mount over here. So that's where it works there, keeping that balance. Now, here in the front, like I'm setting at 5644. So I do need to do a little work here on the front. Now I am running the newer AR45 straight axles. I honestly haven't spent much time looking to see what C-hubs or knuckles work, or if any of the 10-2 hubs work. They may or may not. I haven't looked and I haven't read anything on if anyone's done it. So I'm going to do a little work on that, see if anything out right now does fit, or wait till some do come available. And then I will probably switch out the C-hubs and knuckles for an alloy upgrade, just for that little more weight here in the front. So, and all that in general, again, maintaining lower CG needs to be huge and kept in mind during. So, that's basically that video. Just a base description, on weight bias. If you weren't sure, I understand it's pretty easy to know you need some weight in the front, but is there too much weight in the front, or is there just not enough weight in the front? Trying to find that that rig balance. You said the Sky RC scale, it runs about $100. Definitely something to consider investing, especially if you're trying to get that absolute most out of your vehicle, and if you're having problems in certain aspect, you're seeing an area where a tire's coming up too early, or you're seeing where your truck gives. Maybe that can help you pinpoint, diagnose a problem area. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm actually heavier in the rear than I thought it was. I need to take some of that rear weight off, move it to the front, or add just a little bit more in the front. So again, hope that helped out a little bit, give me space ideas, some ideas on how to do that, where to put some things if needed. But anyways, that'll wrap up this video. I'm working on a few others still right now. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you're just tuning in, checking out the channel, or been following along for a little bit, enjoy what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. Follow us along on this journey. Got more videos to come. less than 100 subscribers away for the G-Speed giveaway. Be sure to get in on that in the thank you viewers, it's G-Speed time video. Go to that video, get in on that giveaway. Less than 100 to go. So, till then, everyone, have a great one and crawl on.